So we have more prospects. So I'm going to draw a few things. I told you I'd be a little bit late, but hopefully you guys are okay with that because this is important stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have more prospects. So what you do is you ask them. Now remember, this is on the appointment. You don't give these 8 reasons by text, by email, verbally on the phone, or mail, or nothing. Can you promise me?
Yes.
You only do it in person and hand it over to them and have a conversation on each one. Okay, that's it. Way more powerful. They say, just send it to me, I'll look it over. No, I just work with people that I meet. Can you say that? I just work with people that I say to the person beside you. I just work with people that I meet. You tell her.
I just work with people that I meet.
People that I
I just work with people that I meet. Oh, well then don't bother. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then I'll find another realtor. Then what do you say? Say this. That would be best.
That would be best.
Sounds funny, right? Well, fine, I'll just use another realtor. Yeah, that would be best. Have a good day. Say that to the next person beside you. That would be best.
That was-
You don't need to put up with anything. It's not rude to say that would be best. Don't ever say sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. Why say sorry? Am I right or right?
Right.
Okay. We have more prospects. So back in person, we're here. They're willing to listen. You got time, no rush, decision makers, the whole bit. How many prospects have you had so far? I'm just curious. And they might say what? In the last month, how many people came by? What do you think?
4 or 5.
4 or 5? Less than 10 for sure, right?
Yeah.
So on a piece of paper, just in the corner, put like that, okay? So make sure you got some more blank places to write some stuff. There's gonna be some stuff on the flip chart, or the whiteboard. Okay, so you say, okay, so you've had about 5, okay? So you say, I just wanna let you know that in the Calgary board here, we have about 5,600 realtors. And at any given time, each realtor has, on average, about 10 potential prospects. You know, some are qualified, some aren't, but about 10 people they're talking to. Some realtors might have 50, some might only have 1, but the average is 10. So how many realtors did I say?
5,600.
So if we, and then over here you write down 5,600, and you put times 10. So they've had 5 prospects, and we have about 56,000 through the board. Potential.
Nice.
Nice, huh? So I just want to let you know we have more.
It's a good idea.
And I'll come back to this big number because I still have to qualify people, so the number will change. Mr. and Mrs. Fisbel? Don't call them that, but you. Didn't say so. The longer it takes, the more money is lost. So if you keep trying to sell, the public thinks that if they keep seeing a for sale sign for months and months, even if the sign changes, they still think something's wrong with the house.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, you know, you're gonna go over the costs of waiting with them if they wait to list with you. What could change? Could be interest rates, houses might drop in value, there could be a political change, could be anything on that list, right? So you just go through it with them, if they're willing. Remember, sometimes they're not willing, you just gotta leave. But let's pretend they're willing. The optimistic realtor thinks, I'll try, and if they are willing, then I'm willing. The pessimistic doesn't even try because they think nobody's gonna listen. Right? Okay, so be patient here, gang. I know that our time's run out, but we'll be okay here. The next one is serious buyers. Shop for sale by owners. To what? So go ahead and ask them. Just say to them, I was just curious, why are you selling privately? What do you think they're going to say? Why are you selling privately?
Save commission.
Yeah, to save on some costs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you may ask them, you may say, you know, I'm just curious, when you bought this place, did you buy it privately or did you buy it through a realtor? And if they said we bought it privately, you might ask them, why did you buy it privately? And this doesn't work all the time, by the way, gang, this works some of the times, right? But they might say, we went private so that we could what? Save the commissions. And just remind them, okay, you're a seller trying to save commissions. And when you were a buyer, you went after a FSBO to save commissions. So other serious buyers are just going to come to you to save on the commissions. And there's only one commission. Well, I'll meet them halfway. Oh, so you're willing to pay half already? Well, let me show you the value for the other half, and then we will work together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But let's say they say, oh, I'm not going to give it to them. I'm just telling you, that's why they're coming here. And it's true. Does that make sense, you guys? Yes. Serious buyers will shop FSBOs to save the commissions. And they will may even be working with a realtor or went to an open house down the street and they say this place is 500 grand with a realtor and the commissions are how much? What, 19 grand-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 to 3. So then they'll say, your house is the same, they want 500, so I'll give you 500 minus the,
Commission.
Commission.
so you either have to pay the commissions to a realtor and get 500, or pay to the buyer and still net the same.
Right.
But you have to take all the risk. You have to take all the risk. We have insurance, we have professionalism, we have to write forms. Heck, with MLS, I might even be able to get you more than 500, who knows? Maybe not, but maybe it'll be a little easier for you. So there's a lot there, would you agree?
Yes.
You listen to the audio tracks, because it says it all in there again,
Yes.
you know? You'd be so confident, you guys would just see a FISBO, and if he's just willing to listen, you're gonna get the listing for sure. If they won't listen to you, that's a whole other thing. You can't do much about that, okay, gang?
Yes.
Then you say, so realtors are trained to separate the lookers from the buyers, so then you go and you draw a circle like this. Find a good spot to write this out there somewhere. Do this, follow the same thing I'm doing, gang. Draw a big circle. Make it a big circle. You know, at least 3-4 inches somewhere. Nice big circle, because I got stuff we're putting inside of it. Okay? And you just let them know about 70% of the potential lookers that we're talking about have frozen equity. Okay, so write that in there like that. 70% have frozen equity. That means there's something they have to do before they can buy. It could be qualifying, it could be sell their house, could be a number of things. But it's about 70% of these people that are out looking at houses, or maybe popping by to see you, okay? And about 11%, well, 15% prefer to rent. I'm just going to write the rest and then get out of the way here, okay? 11% can't afford it, and 4% are ready, willing, and able to buy today. There, you can write all that down if you can see it. If you can't see it, just tell me and I'll read it to you. Just get out of the way for a second. So, you remember, it's better to use a talking notepad, gang. It's better for you to have a notepad and draw this and do it. See how I did it? That's from memory, right? So you either have something to sketch from or listen to the tracks and you listen to it and you remember it. But you go 70% probably need to get qualified, or they can't qualify and they're looking, actually say they can't qualify but they're looking. Or they have to sell their house first. Make sense?
Yes.
11% can't even afford it. They're shopping in the wrong price range. They're not qualified right. 15% prefer to rent. I don't know why they're shopping. They're looking for decorating ideas, right? Or they're scoping out the place. But it really comes down to 4% that are ready, willing, and able to write an offer on the property today or when they come and see it. So let's do the math. What's 4% of 56,000? So that would be times 0.04, right? Does anybody know what is that? About 23,000? About 3,000, hey? I think it's 20, that's 3,040. 3,040. Anyways, let's just say 3,000 to round it up. So we have about 3,000, when we separate from this pie chart, we have about 3,000 people that are ready, willing, and able, and we still have to figure out, in the industry, us realtors, we have to figure out, separate them from the neighborhoods and the price range. So it's probably about, for your neighborhood, it might be 200 that we have in the industry. You notice when you list, you'll see there'll be a dozen or 2 dozen showings right away and a bunch of inquiries right away. But here's the kicker. What is 4% of 5? Do the math there. What is it? 0.2. You don't even have one person. And that can sound funny, or you can sound like you're a little bit of a smart aleck, but the truth of the matter, we have a couple hundred, and they have not even one person. So, something to think about, right? Number 6, Third-party negotiating saves money. So, have you ever sold something privately, you ask them. Now all this extra dialogue is on the audio tracks, so keep trying to do as much chicken scratch as you can, gang, and just try to keep up, okay? But it's all there for you too if you need to listen to the audio again. There's also webinars. If you go through the website and you want to get your notes caught up but you still want to hear some of the other dialogue as well, you can actually go to the webinars, you can see the PowerPoint again, and you can hear me talking like this. There's a lot of stories missing because it's only 40 minutes. Not the same as the whole week, okay? I did record a couple of longer version classes online with some other students. You can have access to those too if you want. And then you can hear all the other stuff that I did do here, because they're pretty well, very similar most of the time, so a little bit different, not much though. Okay, so I guess that's what happens when you've been teaching it for 20 years, right? So how do you feel about lowball offers, ask them? What do you mean? Well, you want how much for the house? 500 you said? What if some guy comes in, and this is like what happened to those people I told you about, and they're like, oh yeah, that's don't like that, it doesn't look good. Ooh. Whoa, what's the heck's that thing? You know, and they're walking around, I'll give you 400. You know, take it, final offer. How do you react? They want 500, and it might be worth 480, maybe they're a bit high, but it's definitely worth more than 400.
Right.
And these people come in with their little swagger, and they go, I'll give you 400. Ask the seller how they feel about that comment. They're like, you know, some people get pretty upset about it. So you let them know that, you know what, third-party negotiating saves money, because if it's on MLS, and let's say you vacate when we do a showing and it's only qualified people that come by, if they even make any comment like that, we're not going to tell you that. We're going to see if they want to write an offer, and we're going to try to get them to come up with their price, and we'll do that privately at our office, and you'll just hear the result of that. So it won't have to affect you as much. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it won't be as long as I am today. For some reason, I think the morning I went a little longer than I should.
Dwayne, I have to.
Marketing strategies.
3:30.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody can leave if you have to, no problem. Just, I'd still be a few minutes, I'm almost done though. So marketing strategies equal exposure. So it ties in with the law of supply and demand, so just put number 7 and 1 connected. That explains it, does that make sense? MLS. Marketing strategies is MLS. Law of supply and demand is MLS. All right? Security equal peace of mind. So, you're going to want to listen to the audio tracks and have these questions handy. I'll give them to you verbally, so you can try to write down as much as you can, and if I go too fast, just stay after class a bit, and I'll say them again, but I'm going to say them really fast right now. So you're going to say to them, how do you ask someone to confirm with you who they say they are before they come through your house? That's question number 1. What was that question again?
How do you ask?
How do you confirm?
How do you ask someone?
Or how do you ask someone? Yeah, if they are, to prove who they are. Do we realtors make sure we know who they are? What's the form we use?
FinTrack?
FinTrack, so we'll tell them. We use FinTrack before we do any showings. Next question is, how do I confirm whether or not they're lookers or qualified buyers? How does the FSBO, I'm saying. So what was the first question? How do you determine who they are, let's say? The second one was, how do you determine if they're qualified? How do we determine if they're qualified? We hook them up with a mortgage broker before showings, right? Before showings. The next question is, do you remove the yard sign when you leave? Do you remove the yard sign when you leave? And they'll say, what do you mean? You say, well, when you leave, if you leave the yard sign out, people think that you're trying to sell, they'll approach the house because it's a for sale by owner. They knock on the door, there's no answer, they start sniffing around. They come to the back door, they look around, there's nobody around, they check a window, one window's open, they crawl in. You know, I mean, every person in Calgary's honest, right?
Yes.
No, of course not, right? So what do you do with your sign? Is it really worth the family time, you ask them? Is it even worth it if there's no savings? So people have been hired a realtor for a long time. So here's your fair trade items, I'll come back to this. Okay, and if you want FSBOs delivered to your phone for only about 40 bucks a month, I get them every day. You can get anywhere from 0 to 2 to 4 to 10. Just sign up for LandVoice and tell them you're in my training, and it costs 40 bucks US. So think about this. If you're not sure if you want to call FSBOs, like if you said, how did they get the leads? Well, they scan the internet, so they go and get leads off online, right? I've been using them for about 25 years. And so some comments, realtors will say, well, I can do that. I'll go, yeah, you could, but you won't. Go ahead and test that theory. See how many times in the next couple days you go online on Kijiji, Craigslist, Fizbo.com, all these places and look for Fizbos. You won't do it. But if you pay 40 bucks and you get a Fizbo sent to you with their name, their phone number, the address, the property, some comments and everything, because you're even paying just a small amount, you're going to phone them, I'll bet you. So probably use Land Voice. If you have questions, just stay after class here. Let me get this out of the way so I have room to leave. Fair trade items, there they are. So you got your fair trade items there?
Yes.
Let me tell you what they are, or what they're used for. Their usage. So CMA is to be able to educate people. CMA is to be able to educate people on the prices in the neighborhood, yes? Financial analysis, which is your net sheet, is to break it down to net. Show them what they can put in their pocket. The time analysis is when you use the costs of waiting. They say they want to see what happens. They might regret it if the interest rates go up too quick. They can't go back. So you might want to show them this, okay? And then it says show number 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it says showings and open house tips, advertising tips, saleability tips, and security checklist are pretty well meant for a FISBO. Anybody's thinking of selling private? You just say, let me give you some tips on how to sell without using a realtor. Then if it doesn't work, maybe you'll consider me. And that might get you in the door at least. Once you get there, you should still go over the 8 reasons and they still might list with you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Estimated renovations, that's a financial loss almost 9 times out of 10. There are some exceptions, you know, I guess. You know, depends how they're getting, how much it's costing them for the renos, what kind of renos. Paint's not bad, everything else is about an 80% return. So, and that's based on some surveys and research done in the past. They need to just know that and then they can make a decision. So if they want to renovate and they want to put in 30 grand, they, at least when you'll let them know that they can't raise the price 60 grand. This is pretty well what they paid or less. Comparison chart. I'm going to show that to you next week. So if somebody says they want to interview a couple other realtors, you can say, I feel like I've done the shopping for you. I've got all the services from all the different companies. I can go over them with you when I get there. All right. And the saleability checklist, I also call it the property checklist. It's great for talking to expireds. And I'll teach you how to talk to expireds next week and some of the restrictions we have, but how it works. But you could say, hey, let's get together. I got a checklist we can go over to find out why your home didn't sell. And so it's funny because 7 out of 10 is a common number for some reason, but about 7, or maybe it's 6 out of 10 expireds end up listing again with a realtor. Okay? So we're using fair trade items to close. Just one. Just 2. Anybody else? Thank you. So I'm going to give you a weekly activity and then I have a little thing to read and then I'm done. So while you guys are just writing that, I'm just going to start talking about our weekly activity because a few people have to go. So go to the office or go to work early. Prospect a minimum of 5 days. Sounds good? I'm in your way a bit. Book a minimum of 3 listing appointments. Keep track of your production on A7. I'll ask you to show me maybe next week or the week after. Bring in your completed weekly report, page A6, signed by your broker if you're going to get a hold of them before then, or see Peter before then. Hand it into your captain no later than, what time?
9:30.
So who's late today? Terry? Okay, those 2 are not bad though, it's about 5 minutes late. So you 2 just come, make sure you're 5 minutes early. Everyone else do what you did, it was good. Okay, I'm just picking on them for a second. It was close, but just be on this side of 9:30. You'll feel better, and then I won't have to pick on you. Add 25 names to your sphere of contacts.
Okay.
And I'll put the PowerPoint back up for once we stop the recording, okay? Reproduce the costs of waiting on your company letterhead. Bring it to class, show me. So let me see if you're doing the little things, gang. If you are, I know you're going to make a lot of money fast. If you don't, just come up and even say to me, look, I did it. Put it on the table up there if you have to. Show me. I'll be not only really happy for you, but I mean, it just goes to show how you're taking your career as well. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay, check off number 7 right now. It says maintain your bona fide appointment checklist. Where is that checklist? It's on the prospecting track, and where's that going to be soon?
On your wall.
On your wall. So if you did put it on the wall, if you intend not to put it on the wall, then uncheck that right now. Okay. Reproduce the reasons, the 8 reasons on your letterhead as well. Check off 9, because I'm going to give you, I got visuals I gave you in the back of your book, so check off 9, so you don't have to worry about that one. Schedule a minimum day off, or free day off, excuse me. Listen to the audio at least 3 times. So I listen to it just constantly till, okay? And then I just want to read this. And what was number 14?
Print off our renovate.
Yeah. How many of you are not going to do it? Somebody said, I'm not going to put up my hand for that. so I just read this. It's a thought. So tell me who or what I am. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper and your heaviest burden.
Fair trader, I can.
Just wait till they stop talking. You guys ready?
Yeah.
One last thing here. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I'm completely at your command. Half the things you do, you might as well turn over to me and I'll be able to do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed. You must merely be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I just do it automatically. I am the servant of all great humans, an ally of all failures as well. And those who are great, I have made great. And those who are failures, I have made failures. I'm not a machine, though I work with the precision of a machine and plus the intelligence of a human. You may run me for profit, run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I'll put the world right at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I?
Number 1 here.
Brain.
That's not a bad answer, actually. The right answer is I am a habit. And the moral of this is, today we start building good habits, yes? If you take good habits with routine and enthusiasm, it equals results. Results equals more money. More money makes for a happier you, yes?
Yes.
And a happier me, because I'm your trainer. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. God bless you. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.